Coach Pleasant, welcome to the BCAM podcast.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here.
So the Pleasant name rings with respect throughout Michigan. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaching journey, your relationship with your dad, all of that stuff before we get started?
Sure. That means a lot. Thank you for saying that. And, we don't take that lightly. We've got 53 years now of either my dad being the head coach or me being the head coach. And so with that has come a lot of neat things as it relates to culture and tradition and family. But I took a different path than my dad. I mean, he was spent at Rochester University for over 50 years. And I played football in college, and then I went out and coached for different people. I was with Don Meyer at Lipscomb, and then bounced around. I was at Wayne State, University of Tennessee Martin, Kent State, and was a head coach in Texas at my alma mater, Abilene Christian University, and then came back to take over for my dad. And one of the things that I've tried to do is, as much as I love and respect my dad and how much I've learned from him, I've never tried to be him. There's only the one Garth. Yeah. And so I'm just trying to be the best Klint I can be. And I've very much tried to do it my way. But we also still work together, and it's been really special.
Coach, you have a reputation of not only coaching on the court, but building men off the court. Can you talk a little bit about the leadership that you instill in your athletes and why that's important to you?
Sure, and I'm glad you asked that. So at our level, I'm sure every young man grows up wanting to play at the next level and play in the NBA. It doesn't happen a ton at our level. And even if it does, I would still argue you need something beyond basketball. In basketball, we try to see it as it's an avenue, it's a conduit to give a platform to try to launch into life to be a good, responsible citizen. And so even though we are very much trying to win basketball games, basketball, I would say, is not the most important thing going on with RU basketball. We start our season with a team retreat. Our guys have assigned textbooks. We have sort of a leadership program that we go through, and we have 4 pillars that our program stands on, and the first one is character in all things. Everything we do, we want to do it with character. We want to treat people the way that we'd want to be treated, and we think basketball is a really interesting breeding ground to be able to work on the lessons that we hope will actually make you successful in life, and we're pretty serious about that at Rochester. And I have the ability to have a job that if we have a season where we don't win a ton of games, I'm probably not going to get fired for that. And so what that does is it frees me up to be able to instill the things that we think are important, and it makes your job really fun.
That's great. Do you mind sharing your other pillars with us?
Yeah, so the first thing we do is we talk about character in all things, and that's just a non-negotiable. And if you are not going to adhere to being someone that has high ideals as it relates to character, then it's probably going to be tough for you to persist in our program. Doesn't mean we're not going to work with you or give you a second chance, but that is important. And then I'll bookend them. And then the fourth one is attention to detail. And so we want to, we have a common language set in our program. When we travel, we look the same. When we walk into a restaurant, we take our headphones off. We greet the hostess. We're respectful to the waiter, the waitress. We try to hold doors open for people. And so the bookends are character in all things, and then attention to detail. We think the little things are actually the big things. We talk about touching teammates on the floor, may always be encouraging. And then the 2 things in the middle are more of the X and O's things. But I learned early on, I don't think I can emphasize 50 things. I don't think anyone does 50 things well. We're just trying to do a few things well. One of my old mentors said, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. And so we try to pick the things that are important. So the 2 middle things are, we want to be incredibly intense on the defensive end and talk. Hopefully you saw that today at the BCAM clinic. And then the other one is we want to be disciplined offensively. We want to take care of the ball and take good shots. And so I know I just said a lot there, but it's really only 4 things.
Oh, no, that's good, because you got on the court, off the court.
Yeah.
Love that. So you've had a lot of coaching experiences outside the state, as you alluded to a few. Can you just tell us about your relationship with BCAM? We feel that, first of all, we're the largest coaching association in the country.
Yeah.
And all of our resources is to serve coaches. Can you talk a little bit about BCAM, what it means to you, and your thoughts overall on
Yes.
on your role in it.
I can, and I'll go as long as you want me to go now because I'm very passionate about this subject.
This is a fast break segment, but go
we'll go
for
quick.
it.
So I actually coached in Texas, and Texas boasts that they have a pretty big association too, but I would always joke back, even when I was coaching in Texas, you ought to come up and check out BCAM. And so BCAM has meant so much to my family and so much, I think, to I can't imagine basketball in the state of Michigan without BCAM. And the resources that it provides, the camaraderie that we have. I mean, it's hard to go somewhere, even if it's not a basketball thing. You go to the movies, or you're out and about with your family, and you run into a coach, and your connection with them is we were at BCAM together. And I remember the old days when we used to stay in the hotels, and we'd have different coaching functions that we would do. But I have so many memories being at a BCAM event. Meeting other coaches, having mutual respect for coaches. And then BCAM, I think, itself has a culture, and the culture is basketball is important in the state of Michigan. And I think they're a thought leader, helping with, making important transitions with our game. And then they create venues and spaces where we can get together and do things like this. And it's a resource to younger coaches who are trying to learn. If you're a young coach in the state of Michigan and you want to learn and you're hungry, I can't imagine living in a better state, because you're going to have an opportunity to tap in to all sorts of creative options. And it all happens because and through BCAM. And personally, it's meant a lot to my family. My dad's, I think, in the BCAM Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And we've had a great time interacting with BCAM and our team.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining the BCAM podcast, Coach. We really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Thanks.
My name is Dan Young. I am the executive director of BCAM, the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. We are the largest coaches association in the United States. We believe that better coaching always matters. It's a really difficult time to be a coach, but at the same time, it has never been more important time to coach. We couldn't serve our coaches without the support of our sponsors: Rawlings, Huddle, Shoot Away, United Dairy Industry of Michigan, Ballogy, Game One, Barron Rings, Coaches Insider, Gatorade, and the Detroit Pistons. We encourage our members and listeners to support those who support us.